All right, welcome to the program. So here is our goal. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to give you the roadmap and the accountability for you to be able to build a profitable agency business that's going to bring in $10,000 a month. This is the best model I've ever seen. And I've tried so many different types of agency models. And this one seems to be the best one that I found to work short term and more importantly, for the long term. I'm going to show you how that works and how you can implement this. All right. So just to set some expectations, this isn't a get rich quick type of business. Just like anything that's worth doing, it will take time and effort. You will face some roadblocks and friction points. So my goal is to remove as many friction points as possible. So that way you can get to the 10K goal as fast as possible. All right. Now everyone starts at different points, right? So some people are going to have more business experience, marketing experience. Some people are just completely starting from brand new, like they've never been an entrepreneur. And so my goal is to point you to the right direction for you to start from. So try to keep an open mind, even if you're seeing some of the information that you've already seen or have already learned from somewhere else. Going from 0 to 1 is probably the hardest thing, especially if you've never done this type of thing before. But once you hit your first customer and you're getting your next one and the next one, it will get a lot easier. I promise you that. And in the end, it will be so worth it. And just to give you some perspective, college is a 4-year commitment. All right. And I'm not sure what the cost is like right now, but when I went, it was $10,000 every year. So that's $40,000 that you're spending for 4 years, just so that you could potentially get a 50 to 80K job when you get out of college. And I have friends who went through college and they never even got a job that they wanted to. So that's just my point of saying that nothing is guaranteed. Now, I got my bachelor's degree and my MBA, so I'm not knocking on college, but I am just saying that there are a lot more things out there that requires a lot more upfront commitment. And even when you do them, there's not much guarantee. Same thing with investment properties. You're investing so much money, so much capital upfront, like 150, 200K plus. And the goal is to make more money than that, but still like you have to come up with a lot of capital for you to make this work. And it goes the same if you're trying to start a traditional brick and mortar business. You have to lease a location, you have to hire employee, deal with payroll and all kinds of things that come out of owning a traditional business. So the great thing about this business is that it's all digital and you don't have much overhead costs as you would with a traditional type of business. So again, like there is work upfront that needs to be done, but it does get easier after you set it up. What is the opportunity? We're going to work with local businesses and we're going to offer them simple AI automation systems that's going to help them grow their business or help them get more customers. All right. And we're going to set these systems at $200 to $500 a month. And then after that, we're going to implement it and we're going to keep getting recurring income from implementing these systems. But let me show you how things are like right now. Okay. So a lot of the current service providers or marketing agencies, what they're doing is they're handling marketing services like paid ads, social media management, SEO, web design, etc. And they're charging from $1,500 to $2,000 a month for these services. And the reason why they're having to charge so high is because there's labor involved, there's time involved, and because they're experts at it, that's why they're justifying the high price point. The problem with that is a lot of businesses just can't afford to keep them for the long term. So there's a high turnover rate, meaning like a lot of people have to cancel the service after 2 to 3 months. So right now the industry standard for a turn rate is 20 to 30% per year. This was the business model that I was running when I was doing my agency business in 2018. And I was able to get a lot of clients from that. And so in 2019, when COVID hit, a lot of my clients had to cancel my service because it was just too highly of a cost for them. And they just didn't know where they were going to go next as far as where they're going to want to put their money towards the business. But one thing I noticed was they were still continuing to pay me for the software that I was providing. So that was a realization that I had where I was like, why don't I just focus on providing high value software and not charge them so much so that they continue to pay me month after month. And that's why this business model is more superior than the traditional agency business. The reason is because if clients never leave you and they keep paying you $200, $300 a month, like electricity bill, then you're going to be able to build more trust. You're going to be able to stay with them longer and you can always upsell the high ticket services later on. But this is a long-term type of business that you could have for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And you can decide to sell this business later if you want, because this is going to be a software-based business. And so your multiples are going to be a lot higher than if you were to just be selling a service-based type of business. So what kind of businesses will you be working with? We're going to primarily be working with service-based businesses that deal with appointments. So examples are barbershops, spas, wellness centers, cleaning company. And I'll include a full list in the course so you can see what kind of businesses that you want to work with and start talking to them. So what are we going to offer to these businesses? So you have to look at what they currently have in their business and then fill in the gaps. our goal is to unlock more revenue and growth for that business. So some of the automation and AI systems that you could build are appointment booking, review request management, inbound calls that uses AI, missed call text back, and social media posting. And I've included a full list of all the different offers in the offer vault, so you can take a look at it, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just do what is already proven. Where are you going to find your first client? So the easiest and the fastest way to find your first client is to tap into your current network. The reason is because it's free. You likely already know a business owner that needs help with this, and people like to help people. So that's the first thing that we're going to do to get your first client. And then from there, we'll collect some case studies, and then we'll start getting more clients that are similar. Where are you going to find your next set of clients? My favorite options are Facebook ads, cold email outreach, and LinkedIn outreach. But if you feel comfortable with this, you can also do cold calling or attend local networking events. So I'm going to show you all the different options for lead generation, and you just have to choose the ones that you're comfortable with. I recommend sticking with just 1 or 2 lead generation methods. And the primary goal with this is to be consistent and to stick with it. All right, so what's the end game here? You want to be in a place where you will have so many reoccurring clients that even if you stop working, even if you stop doing freelancing or running ads, or even if you have to fire all of your employees, you still be making 5 to 6 figures a month from the previous effort that you put in. All right. So think about how many businesses out there just can't do this, right? And let's say you run a restaurant business. You have to continue to keep getting customers come through the door every single day, or else you're going to run out of business and you're going to have to file for bankruptcy. So the thing with this is once you get them as a client one time, they're going to continue to pay you month after month. And that's why you want to be all in on this type of business model where clients keep paying you month after month. Now, before we get into what kind of software we're going to be using to deliver on this service, I want to make a note, okay? AI is always going to be changing. Software is always going to be changing as well. And so we want to understand that tools don't really matter. What business owners want is result. So we got to focus on the result and the benefit that it provides for these businesses, okay? And so throughout the program, I'm going to teach you how to learn about the software in the fastest way possible. But you also want to learn how to do process mapping, which is something I'll show you. But this is the type of skill set that you'll need to have in order for you to be able to pick up on the types of software to use or what kind of systems that you'll need to create for these businesses. And it's also a lot easier to implement a new system than to try to update a current system. So let's say that a client is using 5 different software, right, in their business. Now you're gonna have to figure out like what each of the software does and then how they all come together. So it's just a lot easier if you just use one system that would do all those things, and that you could just implement that one system in their business. And the last point to this is simplicity scales, okay? Because all systems depend on each other. Whatever kind of system that you're building for your client or the systems that they already have, they're all going to depend on each other to keep the business running. And they will get complicated and they will break as you scale. So try to keep them simple from the start. So here's what we're going to use as part of our tool stacks. We're going to use Go High Level. And this is the secret sauce software for all agencies. It has all the functionalities that a small business would need all in one place. It's got CRM and pipeline. It got sales funnels, website, surveys and forms, email marketing, SMS, booking appointments, everything that a business would need to keep things running. And so instead of having to stitch together all the different types of software, you would just need this software. And the reason why we're going to use this as well is because it's very beginner friendly. It's easy for us to convey the value proposition because we're going to convey the value proposition as a system, not just as a software. And my favorite part about this software is that you can white label it, meaning that you can put your own logo to it and you can label it as your own software. And that's how we're going to be able to make recurring income, because then you can start charging for just the software on a monthly basis to the client. Now the cost will be around $300 to $500 a month, but later on I'll show you a way where you can get this for a cheaper price. High Level also has the AI capability. So it has conversation AI, which is the chatbot feature, workflow AI, reviews AI, content AI. So it doesn't just excel at the automation side of things. It also has great AI features that you could use for your service. Now, for some of the advanced automations and AI capabilities that High Level doesn't cover, we could use third-party tools like Zapier, Make, etc. But this is a super beginner-friendly type of software. So we're going to primarily be focusing on using this tool so that we could start making money with it. Now, I mentioned earlier that Go High Level is going to be pretty costly. So their very basic version is $97 a month. But if you're going to be an agency owner and you want unlimited sub accounts, it's going to be starting at $297 a month, all the way up to $497 a month. So if you don't want to pay the $297 a month, but you still want unlimited sub accounts, one thing that I could offer you is the sub accounts under my agency account. So we do have the agency license where it will be under our brand, but you will be able to get unlimited sub accounts for starting at $47 a month with a one-time $24 one-time fee. Or if you don't want any additional fees, then it's just going to be $97 a month. And again, you get all the features of the high level as well as unlimited sub accounts. So I wanted to give you that as an alternative option. If you want to use all of the Go High level features, and if you want the unlimited sub accounts, but without having to pay the $297 or $497 a month. Okay, I'll put that link in the description so you can sign up for that. It will have our own branding, which is outreach, but you will be able to get unlimited sub accounts. And when you are ready to transfer over your own Go High level account, you will be able to transfer all of the sub accounts when you are ready to pay for the high level $297 or $497 a month plan. It's pretty easy to transfer. Now, in order to be successful with this, you're going to have the right mindset. So you need to first level up who you are. Okay. If you want to make doctor or lawyer money, you will need to put in the dues. You will need to put in the work and the effort to make this work. This means that you do need to take action every single day, even if it's like small thing. You want to build a habit like brushing your teeth in the morning. And you also want to take imperfect action. All right. There's a book called Ready, Aim, Fire. If you're the type of person that likes to overthink and contemplate on things before taking action, I want you to read that book because it's going to help you take more action before you start overanalyzing things. Okay. That's been a problem for me. So that book has been super helpful. Now, I also want you to dedicate yourself to this process. Okay. I'm going to give you all the step-by-step, all the things that you need to do, but you're going to get distracted. There's going to be shiny objects that are going to come at you. And so I need you to be married to the process and just do it. It's going to be tempting for you to try other things that might seem like, oh, that's a better opportunity. But trust me when I say this does work, but you have to put in the work. You have to stay consistent. And so you got to remove all distraction. And lastly, I want you to fail fast. Okay. Especially if you've never done this type of business before, the goal is for you to experiment and figure out what works best for you. Okay. So think of yourself as a scientist. You might be running like different types of lead generation campaigns. And so you're going to have to test to see what kind of messages would get the most response from the prospect. So don't put your emotions. I know it's easier said than done, but try to remove a lot of the emotions out of the game and try to just focus on the objective side of things. So here's our weekly plan for the next 4 weeks. Week 1 will be setting up your business and doing your niche research. This is going to be super, super important because it's going to set the foundation for us to come up with the offer on the following week. So week 2 is going to be about setting up your MVP offer and doing all the tech setup. So you will be learning about the software and the different AI tools inside of the software. Now, if you're not super technical, it's okay. We do have plug and play systems, but I want you to try to learn these things. It's really easy to pick up. You're not having to do any kind of coding or anything, but there are some technical concepts that you might need to know about just so that like it'll be easier for you to understand how it would translate into business processes and flows. All right. But don't worry, I have everything laid out for you. So you're going to be able to pick it up pretty easily. And there's also a team that will help you set everything up with your software and be able to answer any kind of questions if you have any sort of like technical issues. I also have the offer vault that you can access to see what are the proven offers that a lot of businesses will be willing to pay for. So you don't have to come up with a brand new offer that no one has ever heard of. Just use these proven offers to start off. And then from there, you can make adjustments as you start getting more clients. Week 3 is going to be about setting up your sales machine. This is when we're going to start generating leads and start prospecting with potential clients. And so in that week, I want you to choose just 1 to 2 lead generation methods. I'm going to give you all the methods that are available, but I want you to choose just 1 or 2 that are going to be comfortable for you and that you're going to stick with. Okay. Because the key is consistency. So if you're going to just keep trying out different things, you're not going to stay consistent and you're not going to get the results that you want. And lastly, week 4 will be about launching your campaigns that you've set up in week 3. Our goal in week 4 is to start talking to them, start demoing the software and the system that you set up in week 2. And start trying to get your first client. All right. So feel free to rewatch this video. If you don't understand something, post in the community and I'll be able to answer your questions. But the next step will be for you to start week 1 and start getting things set up. Okay. And be sure to check off the lessons as you go through them. And every lesson will have an action item or multiple action items. So I want you to check them off once you're done with each lesson. And if you have any questions, again, post in the community and I'll be able to get back to you. All right, let's get to work.